Captain Rian Hale had survived many dangerous missions, but nothing prepared him for the new assignment waiting on his service tablet. He stood inside the briefing chamber on Station Helios 9, staring at the official order with a confused expression. The screen clearly displayed a message with the seal of the Human Alliance. Captain Rian Hale, you are assigned as personal protector to Queen Serenia of Virelia, effective immediately. Rian blinked once, then twice. A queen? An alien queen? He had protected diplomats, scientists, and even a few reckless politicians, but never royalty, especially not royalty from a species humans barely understood. The Virelians were insectoid humanoid beings, with shimmering skin, glass-like eyes, and a deeply traditional culture built on honor. Their queen, Serenia, was young and newly crowned, and stories about her had reached human channels months earlier. Some said she was calm and wise, others claimed she was strict and cold. Ryan sighed. Why me? The answer arrived a few minutes later when Commander Lyra stepped into the room. She was tall, serious, and known for never wasting time. You look confused, she said. That's because I am, Ryan replied. Why would they choose a human guard for an alien queen? Because she requested someone who has no connection to Virelian politics, Lyra explained. She survived an assassination attempt last week. Someone from her own court is trying to remove her. Ryan frowned. So, she wants an outsider. Exactly. And you have a record of keeping high-value individuals alive. You're disciplined, you follow orders, and you don't panic under pressure. Ryan let out a slow breath. I see. When do I meet her? Lyra gave a small smile. Now. First meeting. The royal chamber on Helios 9 looked nothing like the rest of the station. Soft blue lights glowed along the walls, forming patterns that resembled flowing rivers. The air smelled faintly of flowers, though Rian knew Virelian plants looked nothing like Earth's. Queen Serenia stood near the center, surrounded by two silent Virelian advisors. She was tall and graceful, her skin shifting with gentle colors, silver, pale blue, and hints of green depending on the angle of the light. Her large eyes reflected everything like polished crystal. Ryan straightened his uniform and stepped forward. Captain Ryan Hale, reporting for duty. Serenia studied him quietly. For several long seconds, she said nothing. Her expression was calm, but unreadable. The way someone might observe a new animal they had never seen before. You are human, she finally said, in a soft, layered voice. Yes, Your Majesty. You have been assigned to guard me. It wasn't a question. It was a statement. Yes, she tilted her head slightly. Humans are known to be unpredictable, emotional, quick to act. Ryan felt heat rise in his face. We can also be reliable, determined, loyal. Serenia's eyes brightened for a moment, perhaps in curiosity. So we shall see. Her advisors bowed and left the room, leaving Rian alone with her. You will accompany me everywhere, she continued. Your presence will be announced to all members of my court. Any threat that reaches me must pass through you first. Rian nodded. Understood. Serenia turned away, signaling the end of the introduction. Rian followed, unsure if she approved of him or simply tolerated him. Either way, he had a mission. Suspicion in the palace. The Queen's palace was not a real palace. It was a secure wing of Helios 9 designed to mimic Virelian architecture with curved corridors and soft lighting. Rian walked beside Serenia through long hallways, scanning every corner. Members of her court watched him with mixed expressions. Some looked nervous, others looked annoyed. A few looked openly angry that a human was allowed so close to their queen. Ryan leaned slightly toward her. They don't seem too happy with me. That is because they fear what is different, Serenia answered calmly, or because they are hiding something. Ryan stopped for a moment. You think one of them is the assassin? I do not think. I know. Her voice carried no doubt. Ryan felt a chill crawl down his spine. Nightfall. By the end of the day, Ryan felt both mentally exhausted and physically alert. He had memorized the layout of the Queen's chambers, placed security sensors along the outer hallway, and checked every corner for weaknesses. Serenia prepared to rest in her royal quarters, a circular room filled with soft lights and gentle hums from Varelian technology. You may leave your post outside the entrance, she said. I will rest. With respect, Your Majesty, I prefer to stay nearby, Ryan said. The last attack was during rest hours. She paused, surprised. You believe danger is close? I think danger is always close. She considered this for a moment, then nodded. Very well. Ryan set up a small watch station just outside her doors. He sat, listening to the quiet hum of the room's energy field. The lights dimmed slowly, indicating night cycle on the station. For a few hours, everything remained calm, until the lights suddenly went out. The first attack darkness swallowed the hallway. Ryan immediately stood up, hand on his sidearm. Power failure, he muttered. But Helios 9 had backups. Power shouldn't fail without warning. A faint metallic click came from within the Queen's chamber. Ryan moved fast. He slammed his hand on the override panel. The door opened halfway. Someone had disabled its full function. Squeezing through, Ryan entered the room just in time to see a dark figure cloaked in shimmering armor aiming a blade-like device at Serenia, who sat frozen on her bed. Move! Ryan shouted. He tackled the attacker, the impact sending both crashing into a corner. The assassin hissed in frustration, a Varelian voice, not human. So the traitor theory was true. The attacker swung the blade again, but Ryan ducked and grabbed a loose piece of furniture, smashing it against the assassin's arm. The weapon clattered to the floor. Serenia darted back, shock glowing in her eyes. The assassin tried to escape through the vent system, slipping away before Ryan could catch them. The lights flickered back on as soon as they disappeared. Ryan breathed hard, scanning the chamber. Your Majesty, are you hurt? Serenia stood slowly, her hands trembling. She tried to hide it, but Ryan noticed. No, she whispered, but I feared I would not survive. Ryan nodded. Someone inside your court planned this. They knew the guard patterns, the door, the lights. Serenia looked at him with a new expression, one he hadn't seen before. It was trust mixed with fear. Captain Hale, she said softly, I do not wish to sleep alone tonight. Ryan blinked, surprised. Your Majesty, not for comfort, she said quickly, for safety. In my culture, sharing the resting space means trust and protection. I cannot risk another attack while defenseless. Ryan hesitated, but he saw how shaken she truly was. This wasn't a royal command, it was a plea. I'll stay close, he said gently. I'll keep watch inside the room. Serenia nodded slowly. Thank you, Captain. For the first time since the attacks began, I feel safe. Ryan took a seat near her resting platform, alert and ready. Outside, the station lights returned to normal, but inside the Queen's chamber, everything had changed. Ryan was no longer just a guard. He had become the only person she trusted. Captain Ryan Hale did not sleep that night. He stayed by the Queen's side, watching every shadow, every movement, every change in the soft lights of her chamber. His senses stayed sharp, and his mind kept replaying the attack again and again. Queen Serenia rested on her elevated platform, something like a bed, but shaped in a flowing oval design. She did not sleep deeply. Every few minutes her eyes opened slightly, as if checking to see if Ryan was still there. He always was. When morning lights slowly brightened the chamber, Serenia sat up and looked at him with a calmer expression. You remained awake the entire night? Yes, Ryan said. Someone is still trying to kill you. I'm not risking anything. Serenia nodded, her colors shifting to a gentle blue, a Varelian sign of gratitude. You have protected me more than any guard of my own species, she said quietly. It is unusual. Rian smiled a little. Humans do unusual things. That is clear, she replied softly. A change in routine. The next few days created an unexpected pattern. Serenia refused to sleep alone after the attack. At first, Rian believed she wanted him inside the room only for the night of the incident. But on the second night and then the third, she hesitated before resting and said the same simple sentence. Please stay. She never ordered him. She simply asked. And each time, Ryan stayed. During the day, Serenia continued her duties, speaking with advisors, reviewing diplomatic messages, and guiding her people through rebuilding the damaged trust caused by the assassination attempt. She showed strength in public, calm and confident. But at night, when lights dimmed, her confidence faded. She walked slightly closer to Ryan, spoke softer, and stayed within sight of him at all times. Ryan understood. Almost dying changes anyone, human or alien. Curiosity about humans. One evening, as she prepared to rest, Serenia turned to Ryan with a thoughtful expression. Humans dream, do they not? Yes, Ryan answered. A lot. And dreams are pictures in the mind? Sometimes pictures, Ryan said. Sometimes memories or strange ideas. She blinked slowly. Virelians rarely dream. When we do, it is seen as a sign of stress. Her eyes shifted to a pale silver. Does dreaming make humans weak? Not at all. Dreams help us understand things. They help us feel. She sat down on her platform, studying him as if each word he spoke was part of a lesson. You protect with strength, she said, but also with emotion. That is rare. Ryan laughed lightly. Humans are confusing, even to ourselves. She tilted her head. Confusing, yes, but interesting. Every night that followed included new questions. Serenia wanted to know everything. Why humans fight so fiercely, why they joke during dangerous missions, why they care about people they barely know. Ryan answered each question patiently. To him, Serenia seemed like a queen who had never been allowed to be a person. Her life was strict, formal, filled with rules. Around him she was different, curious, thoughtful, and sometimes even amused. Once she asked, Is it true that humans sometimes laugh when they are nervous? Yes, Ryan replied. She stared at him. That is extremely strange. He chuckled. You get used to it. Serenia paused, then surprised him by saying softly, I think I am beginning to. The investigation deepens. During the day, Ryan became more determined than ever to catch the attacker. He reviewed footage, examined damaged equipment, and studied the palace layout. The power failure during the attack bothered him. Nobody outside the Queen's inner circle could access those systems. He met with Commander Lyra in a secure room. I have proof someone tampered with the lighting grid, Ryan said, placing a data pad on the table. Lyra examined it. Her face tightened. Someone from the Queen's side? Has to be, Ryan replied. They knew when to strike and how to disable her door. Any names? Ryan hesitated. Not yet, but I'm close. He already had suspicions. One advisor, Lord Varric, always looked displeased whenever Serenia asked Rian to stay near. Varric hid his irritation behind polite words, but Ryan noticed the way the man's eyes followed him. Varric clearly didn't want a human close to the Queen, which meant Rian would stay even closer. A dangerous idea. One night, as Serenia prepared to rest again, Rian approached her with a plan. Your Majesty, he said gently, I think the attacker is someone inside your court. Serenia's colors dimmed to a darker shade. I have feared this. I want to test something, A piece of false information. What kind of information? Ryan explained. If I send a fake message claiming your security will be moved tomorrow and someone uses that to plan another attack, we'll know who the traitor is. Serenia considered the idea. It is risky. Yes, Ryan agreed, but it might force them to act. She breathed slowly. Very well. Do it. The trap. Ryan sent the false message through a secure line, secure but accessible to a small group of advisors. The message claimed that the Queen would tour the lower levels of the palace tomorrow morning with only 2 guards. Then he waited. Serenia stayed quiet as she rested, but her unease was clear. Her thoughts were heavy and her mind restless. Around midnight, Serenia finally spoke. I have ruled only a short time, but the weight is heavy. I do not enjoy suspecting my own people. I know, Rian said, but trust isn't given, it's earned, and whoever attacked you never earned it. Serenia looked at him with soft eyes. But you did. Ryan froze for a moment, surprised. I'm just doing my job. No, she whispered. It is more than that. You care. Humans feel danger before it arrives. You look at everyone with suspicion, yet you protect without hesitation. Ryan didn't know how to respond. He simply nodded. Sometime later, a soft sound echoed from the hallway, like a door sliding open too carefully. Rian lifted his weapon. Someone is here, he whispered. Serenia's eyes brightened with fear. Rian moved silently toward the entrance. Someone outside was trying to override the lock on the Queen's chamber. Again. He peeked through the small gap left by the door panel, a figure wearing a cloak typed rapidly at the control pad, and Ryan saw their face clearly under the hood, Lord Varric. He was the traitor. The coup was real. Ryan returned to Serenia. It's Varric, he whispered. He's trying to enter. Serenia's colors went cold with shock. Varric? He was my father's advisor. Well, Ryan said, he's planning to replace you. Serenia sat frozen, but she wasn't silent enough. Her sharp inhale echoed across the room. Outside, Varric suddenly stopped typing. Someone is awake, Varric muttered. Rian stepped in front of the Queen, ready for whatever came next. The bond strengthens Varric abandoned the attempt and ran down the hallway, disappearing before Rian could chase him. But Serenia had heard everything. She now knew her trusted advisor was a traitor. She looked shaken, but there was something else in her eyes. Certainty. He would have succeeded if you were not here, she said, voice soft but steady. You were right. You understood the danger before I saw it. Ryan moved closer, keeping a respectful distance. We'll catch him. I promise. Serenia looked at him for a long moment. You must stay tonight, she said quietly. Not because of fear, but because I trust you more than anyone in my court. Ryan nodded, finally understanding that her requests were not simply about safety. They were about connection. And for the first time, Serenia slept peacefully, because a human was watching. For the first time in days, Queen Serenia slept without fear. Captain Ryan Hale stayed seated a few meters away, guarding her with sharp focus. He did not relax. He did not drift off. He watched the room until the morning lights gently rose like a digital sunrise. Serenia opened her eyes slowly. The moment she saw Ryan awake and alert, her expression softened. You did not rest, she said. I'll sleep when you're safe, Ryan replied. Her colors warmed at his words. You speak as if danger is still coming. It is, he said firmly. Varric won't stop. The failed attack last night means he'll try something bigger. Serenia lowered her gaze. Varric was loyal to my father. He served the throne for many cycles. I trusted him. Ryan answered gently. Sometimes enemies hide behind loyalty. She said nothing. But her silent expression held pain. Pain from betrayal. Pain from knowing her own court was broken. preparing for the worst. By midday, the palace atmosphere had changed completely. Guards moved faster. Advisors whispered nervously. Security drones hovered in tight groups around the corridors. Everyone sensed the tension, though nobody spoke openly about Varric. Ryan walked beside Serenia as she visited the council hall. Eyes followed him everywhere, some curious, some suspicious, some openly hostile. "He is human," one advisor whispered loudly. "He does not belong here," another muttered. Serenia turned sharply, her colors darkening. "He saved my life," she said. "He belongs." The hall went silent. Ryan stood a little taller. Hearing the Queen defend him meant more than he expected, but he also knew danger was close, very close. Varric's next move. Commander Lyra met Rian outside the council hall with a grim face. "I received a coded message," she said quietly. "Someone tried to hack into the station's main communication hub this morning." "Varric?" Ryan guessed. "Most likely, and he's not working alone." Ryan's muscles tightened. "Then the coup is coming soon." Lyra nodded. "And it will be violent." Ryan understood. Varric wasn't trying to scare the Queen. He wanted control of the throne, and the fastest way was to replace Serenia with a ruler who would obey him. "Get extra guards to the lower decks," Ryan said. "If he's planning something big, he'll use the areas with weak security." Lyra sighed. "I already tried, but some units refused my orders. They claim they only follow instructions from Varelian leadership." Rian frowned. "Meaning Varric?" "Yes," she said. "He has influence we didn't know about." The fake peace meeting. Later that evening, as the palace entered the dim, calming light of rest hours, a messenger drone approached the Queen. "Your Majesty," it announced, "Lord Varric requests a private reconciliation meeting on the lower decks. He claims he wants to resolve misunderstandings." Serenia looked shocked. "Varric wishes to apologize?" Ryan stepped forward immediately. "It's a trap." Serenia hesitated. "Perhaps he wants to surrender." "No," Ryan said firmly. "He wants you alone in an isolated area. The last place you should go." Serenia turned toward him. "If I refuse, he will claim I fear peace." "Good," Ryan replied. "Let him." Serenia looked down. "I must show strength." "Strength," Ryan said, "is surviving. Not walking into danger." For a long moment she said nothing. Then she whispered, "If we go together." Ryan sighed. "I knew you'd say that." Entering the trap. The lower decks of Helios 9 were quiet, narrow, and poorly lit. They were used mostly for storage and maintenance. It was the perfect place for an ambush. Ryan walked first, weapon ready. Serenia followed close, her expression steady despite the tension. 2 loyal guards walked behind her. The further they went, the more uneasy Ryan felt. Something was wrong. Too quiet, too empty, too still. They turned a corner, and Ryan's instincts screamed. "Back!" he shouted. A swarm of attack drones shot out from the shadows, firing stun blasts. Ryan shoved Serenia behind a metal barrier as sparks exploded around them. Serenia gasped. "Varric! He planned this!" Ryan returned fire, taking out the first wave of drones with quick, precise shots. His movements were fast, almost reckless, but full of human creativity. Using angles, deflections, and timing no Varelian soldier would dare attempt. Serenia watched him with awe. Humans fought differently. Humans adapted. Ryan grabbed a fallen drone, ripped off its panel, and used it as a shield while pushing forward. "Stay behind me!" he yelled. Serenia followed, trusting him completely. Separated by the blast, they reached the end of the corridor when a sudden explosion shook the entire deck. A maintenance pipe burst, sending smoke and pressure waves crashing through the hall. Ryan was thrown against a wall. Serenia was pushed in the opposite direction. "Ryan!" she shouted, reaching out. But smoke filled the space. thick and blinding. They lost sight of each other. Ryan coughed, eyes burning. "Serenia! Stay where you are! I'm coming!" He could barely hear her through the ringing in his ears. Panic struck him, not because of the explosion, but because he could not see her. She was alone, and the enemy was near. Serenia felt the same fear. Her colors flickered wildly. She had never been separated from Ryan in danger. The thought of facing Varric's forces without him made her chest tighten. "Ryan!" she cried again. Footsteps approached her, too many to count. She backed against the wall, trembling. Ryan forced his way through the smoke, muscles burning, ignoring the pain. He could not let her be captured. He would not. He pushed past debris, stumbling forward. Then he saw her, cornered by 2 drones and a cloaked figure. Varric. Without thinking, Ryan sprinted. Human strength. Ryan slammed into the first drone, destroying it. The second turned toward him, but he grabbed a metal pipe from the ground and swung it with full force. Sparks flew as the drone crashed into the wall. Varric hissed, "Human, you should not be involved." "You tried to kill her," Ryan growled. "I'll always be involved." Varric raised his weapon, but Ryan charged before he could fire. Humans were slower than Varelians in movement, but stronger in close combat. Ryan tackled Varric with raw force, knocking the device away. Varric's eyes widened. "Impossible. Humans are not this strong." "We are when we're protecting someone," Ryan said. Varric shoved Ryan back and fled into a side corridor, disappearing before Ryan could chase him. The battle wasn't over, but Serenia was safe, for now. The Queen's fear. Serenia ran to Ryan the moment Varric was gone. "Are you injured?" she asked quickly, inspecting his arm where sparks had burned his sleeve. "I'll live," Ryan said, forcing a smile. Serenia's colors flickered with distress. "You should not have come alone through the smoke. You could have died." Ryan chuckled. "I've faced worse." "But not for me," she said quietly. Ryan paused. Her voice carried something deeper than fear. It carried emotion, something she rarely showed. "You are more than a guard to me now," Serenia whispered. "You are the one person I trust in a world that is falling apart." Ryan softened. "I won't let anything happen to you, not ever." Her colors warmed, glowing softly in the dim hallway. That night, back in her chamber, Serenia refused to rest unless Ryan stayed right beside her, not far away, not across the room, but close enough for her to know he was safe. "I sleep only because you are near," she admitted. Ryan nodded. "Then near is where I'll stay." And as she rested, Serenia realized something important. Humans did not protect for duty alone. They protected with heart, and that made them more powerful than any enemy. The next morning, the ship Valorium Ascending floated above the blue-white clouds of the alien world. Inside, humans and Zerethians prepared for the arrival of the Galactic Council. Engineers ran checks, soldiers tightened armor straps, and diplomats practiced polite lines they did not actually believe. The tension inside the ship was so sharp that even the soft humming of the engines felt louder than usual. But inside the Queen's private chamber, a different tension existed. Queen Sarilith sat near the glowing crystal window, her pale silver skin reflecting the morning light. Her long crest of bioluminescent markings pulsed slowly. She looked peaceful from a distance, but Alex could tell she was not calm. Her fingers kept tapping softly on the crystal floor. And her eyes kept drifting toward the door as if she expected something bad to walk in any moment. Alex stood near her, not wearing his full armor today, only the lighter protective suit. He wanted her to feel safe, not guarded like a prisoner. She looked up at him and finally spoke, her voice soft but steady. "Today, the council will decide my fate." Alex nodded. "And we will stand with you, all of us, no matter what they say." Sarilith smiled faintly. You say that as if the council listens to courage. They will listen, he said, because humanity doesn't abandon its allies, and you're our ally now. She stared at him for a long time, her eyes glowing with a strange mix of gratitude and something deeper, something she never said aloud. Alex, she whispered, if their judgment is cruel, will you still remain by my side? You don't even need to ask. For a moment, the queen lowered her gaze, her crest glowing brighter with emotion. She looked almost shy, something he never expected from a royal being who ruled millions. The gathering hours later, the great hall of the ship filled with the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Representatives from 32 species sat in floating seats that shifted like metal clouds. The humans stood together, their uniforms crisp and their expressions determined. Captain Riva, Commander Halden, and the rest of the squad stayed close to Alex and the Queen. The council's grand speaker, a tall, crystalline being, looked down at everyone. Let this emergency session begin. The room fell silent. Queen Saralith of the Zarethian Empire, the speaker continued. You stand accused of breaking ancient treaties, endangering neutral worlds, and provoking intergalactic conflict. Before we pass judgment, you may speak. Saralith rose slowly. Her posture was royal, but Alex could see the tension in her hands. The accusations are false, she said, her voice strong. Our worlds were attacked first. My people were hunted. I was targeted for assassination by my own corrupted council. I ran because I had no choice. Some of the alien delegates murmured in doubt. Others nodded. And humanity sheltered me, the Queen added. She looked at Alex briefly. They protected me when no one else would. A Vexorian delegate clicked angrily. Humans only helped because they seek more influence in the galaxy. Captain Riva stepped forward immediately. Humanity helped because someone was in danger. That's what we do. A few delegates rolled their eyes, but none spoke. Riva's voice carried a strength that silenced even the loudest skeptics. Then another voice echoed across the room, cold, sharp, metallic. You speak lies, Queen. Everyone turned. A portal opened at the far end of the hall, its lights swirling like molten gold. From it stepped 4 armored figures wearing Zarethian war suits. Behind them stood an elder Zarethian noble, the very one who ordered the Queen's assassination. The traitor. His long crest showed signs of age, but his eyes burned with ambition. I, High Regent Varakul, he declared, speak on behalf of the true Zarethian leadership. This queen is unfit. She is weak. She seeks alliances with lesser species. Alex clenched his fists. Captain Riva whispered, This is bad. The regent continued. We demand the queen be returned to us immediately. She will face execution for her failures. Saralith stood straight, her face calm but her heart racing. Alex could tell. He had learned to read the glow in her markings. The Grand Speaker asked, Is there proof of your claim? The regent smirked. I bring witness testimony and records of her behavior with humans. Gasps spread across the hall. Alex went still. Saralith's crest dimmed in shock. The regent pointed a clawed finger at her. She has grown close to her human guard. Too close. It is improper for a queen to lower herself. It is unworthy of our throne. Whispers spread instantly. The queen's face heated with embarrassment. Alex stepped forward before she could say anything. That accusation is irrelevant and rude. The regent sneered. Ah, the human speaks. Tell me, soldier, has she grown so attached to you that she cannot even sleep without your presence? The hall erupted into murmurs again. Saralith's crest glowed with mortified brightness. Alex's eyes widened. He wasn't embarrassed for himself. He was furious that they were using her vulnerability to shame her. She tried to speak, but Alex beat her to it. Enough, he said loudly. You don't get to twist the truth." The room quieted. She didn't ask me to stay near because of anything improper. She asked because she was hunted, alone, and terrified someone would kill her in her sleep. Any decent person would offer comfort in that situation. Humanity didn't protect her because she's a queen. We protected her because she's alive. The silence that followed was heavy, but powerful. Even the alien delegates couldn't deny the sincerity of his words. The attack. The regent's smirk faded, then his expression twisted. "Very moving, human, but pointless." He snapped his fingers. His armored guards activated weapons. Chaos erupted. Energy blasts shot across the hall. Delegates dove for cover. Alarms rang loudly, and human soldiers formed a shield around the queen. "Alex!" Captain Riva shouted. "Get her out of here!" Alex grabbed Sarilith's hand and pulled her behind cover as blasts scorched the metal walls. "I knew he wasn't here for a fair hearing," Alex muttered. Sarilith's voice trembled, not from fear, but anger. "He means to kill everyone who supports me." They ran through a side corridor while the ship's automated defenses activated. Human soldiers held off the attackers, but the Regent's forces were strong and heavily armed. "Where are we going?" Sarilith asked. "To the command deck," Alex said. "If we can seal the hall and trap the Regent's forces, we might stop them." But before they reached the elevator, 3 Zarethian elite guards blocked their path. Alex pushed the queen behind him. "Stay back!" One of the guards snarled, "Surrender the queen or die!" Alex didn't bother answering. He charged. The fight was fast and brutal. The Zarethians were stronger physically, but Alex moved with precise training. He dodged a swing, slammed his elbow into the first guard's neck, twisted around another, and kicked his weapon aside. The third guard rushed him, but Sarilith suddenly stepped forward. Her crest flared with bright silver energy. A blast of psionic force exploded from her hands, sending the guard flying into the wall. Alex looked at her in awe. You could do that the whole time?" She gave a small, proud smile. "Only when I have someone to protect." They ran again. The final confrontation. At last, they reached the command deck. Captain Riva and several soldiers were already there, fighting off more attackers. Alex and the Queen rushed to help. "Regent's breaking through," a soldier yelled. Sarilith stepped to the front. "Not anymore!" She placed her hands on the main control crystal of the ship. As her markings glowed, she activated an ancient Zarethian override, a command no one else had the right to use. Massive shimmering barriers dropped around the hall, sealing the Regent and his forces inside. The Grand Speaker's voice echoed through the intercom, shocked but grateful. "Queen Sarilith, you have saved us!" The Regent roared in fury inside the sealed chamber, but he was trapped. His forces were disarmed within minutes by security drones. It was over. The decision. Back in the council hall, the delegates returned to their seats. The Regent and his warriors were restrained. The Grand Speaker looked at the Queen. "Your courage and the loyalty of your human allies have shown the truth," the Speaker said. "The Council recognizes you as the rightful queen. The Regent and his conspirators will face judgment." Sarilith breathed out slowly, relief flooding her. Then she turned to Alex. "And what of humanity's role in this?" she asked. The Speaker answered, "Humanity has proven itself a true protector of peace. From this day, the Zarethian Empire and Earth shall share a formal alliance." A soft smile spread across Sarilith's face. Alex felt something warm settle in his chest. The moment after. Later, in the quiet of her chamber, Sarilith approached Alex again. The danger was gone, but she looked more nervous than before. "You stayed when no one else would," she said. "You stood for me even when they used personal things against us." Alex shrugged lightly. "Anyone would do that." "No," she whispered. "Not anyone. Only you." She looked at him, eyes soft with meaning he couldn't pretend not to understand. "Alex," she said. "I do not know what the future holds, but if you still wish to remain close, I would not refuse." He laughed softly. "I wasn't planning to go anywhere." And though she did not say it aloud, for the first time since losing her throne, Sarilith felt safe enough to sleep without fear. But she still preferred not to sleep alone. This time, not from fear, but from choice.